Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is What's Done in the Dark Tea. We are recapping Love Island Season 8, Episode 30. You guys, your girl is tired, okay? Taking a vacation during Love Island season did me absolutely no favors. I have been working all day trying to get those 2 episodes done. I had to watch them and do those and get them out all in one day. Your girl is stressed, but I am also going to get this episode done tonight and have it up before I go to sleep. So that is my mission, and I feel like I can do it because this episode didn't really have that much going on. I know that I say that a lot, but truly this episode really was just a lot of filler, and it's pretty much, I feel like it's going to be like that until the end because everybody is closed off and I don't really know what they could do at this point to stir something up. I mean, I have no idea what they could do. I guess they could do the heart rate challenge, but they're doing that. Parents got to come. More people got to go home. I don't know what they're going to do, but I think that it's going to be pretty tame until it ends. So this episode picks up, and this is right after the karaoke episode. So this is whenever we find out that Zach and Kata were in the bottom with Parmita and Corbin. Parmita and Corbin unfortunately go home, and Zach and Kata are left wondering what America sees that they don't see. So that's pretty much where it starts off, and Kata and Zach are trying to understand. They both individually think that it's them. That Zach feels like they feel like she's not good enough. Kata feels like she might be too bossy and they don't think that it's, that they don't like her or whatever. Kata is also confused as to how TT and KC, as well as Anaya and Carl, would be voted higher than them considering that they have been there since like day 3 and these couples are new. Kata, it doesn't have anything to do with that. America is trying to save you from being in a serious relationship with a tool. Okay? That's what's going on, Kata. She's putting a lot of effort into something that's very simple. They're just trying to save you, sweetheart. We get a conversation between Kinsey and Dylan. They're happy that they've won. Casey and TT are sad that Corbin and Parmita are gone. They really thought that the U.S. hated them and that they were going to go home, but she's glad that she stood by her man and they stayed true to themselves and were able to stay in the Villa Inn. Good for y'all. I don't necessarily like all the things that you did, but you've apologized, and ever since then I have nothing negative to say. We get a conversation between Mel and Sin. They think that this is the most intimate thing that they've done as a couple. Okay, Melanie. Sure, Jan. They think that because of these votes that America sees their connection. Okay, I guess they do. Melanie says he's off detention. I'm trying to figure out when he was ever on detention. Moving on. Zach is laying in the bed. He looks like he's going to cry. He's very upset. Bryce comes in to check. And he's just overthinking on why they were so low, and Zach feels like he's hated by the public. He also then tells Bryce that he wants to make it more official with Kata, but doesn't want to be boyfriend and girlfriend. But Zach, this is why they're voting you like that. It's because you're too indecisive on your feelings for Kata. It's like you wanted to sleep with her, but you wanted to explore. You wanted to say you loved her, but you wanted to take it back. Now it's just like, that's why you guys are in the bottom. I mean, at least for me, I like Kata. It's Zach. He's scared to say girlfriend, of course. Bryce says that he was scared to lose Zach, so they were scared to lose each other. We get a conversation between Kata and Trinity, all, like at the same time that Bryce and Zach are having this conversation, and Kate is just like, that's my man. I don't care what America says. But we know that you do. But she's trying to play tough, but we know that she does. Oh yeah, we get a conversation between We get a conversation between Zach and Bryce, and Bryce tells Zach that him and Trinity hunched. And of course, Zach has to let it be known that he saw it first, and they giggle. That's the real love story of Love Island, if we're being for real. Kata and Zach are still upset the next morning. They just don't understand why they were voted so low, and they're both talking about it separately. The girls talk to Kenzie, and she asked them a hypothetical question: as if they wouldn't have won the challenge and they had to stand up there, would her and Dylan been the ones to go home? They say that it's not best to think about that after the longest pause known to man. After the longest pause known to man. Kennedy. Lord, Kenzie. That answers your question. Y'all was going home, baby. That answers your question. Okay? TT just says that she's glad that they've all come to a place where everybody likes each other and that they like her. Good for you, TT. I'm glad that you're getting adjusted as well. We get a conversation between Dylan and Carl, and Dylan says that he is still unsure about his connection with Kenzie. He was good last night, but then after waking up this morning and thinking more about it, he's like, did America vote us that way because they see the situation for what it really is? Honestly, yes, Dylan, but also I don't think that you're that likable either. So either way, they get a text, and this text is just for the girls, and they have to fly under the radar, and they have different tasks to do, to complete. I don't know what the point of this was. I guess just to have a little fun, because like I said, these episodes have nothing going on. So the tasks that they do, the first one is Trinity, and she has to get every boy to say French fry. Then we get TT, and she has to get 2 boys to kiss her on the cheek. So she grabs the Casa boys, say that they don't have a pitcher, takes them to the pitcher booth. Last pitcher, she says, oh, kiss me on the cheek. Boom, completed. Mel has to ask Sincere for drinks, and he has to go back and fix it 3 times. He surprisingly does it. Task completed, beloved. Anaya gets KC to help her find her glasses because she had to help a guy search. KC was definitely a weird choice, and he's even like, I'm wondering why she's asking me. Yeah, that was definitely a weird choice. I feel like you could have asked anybody. I don't know why you would ask KC. I mean, maybe, I guess she figured since their like little thing or whatever that he would be willing to do whatever since he doesn't want to look bad. I have no idea. I have no idea why she picked Casey. Then Kenzie, of course, picks the one where she has to get 2 guys to give her a back rub. So she gets Dylan, and she gets Carl, because I guess Carl knows some like massage techniques or something like that. I don't know, but she gets 2, so hers is completed. Kata has to get a guy to do her makeup, so she pulls Bryce and Trinity. They go upstairs, and Bryce helps Bryce helps Kata with her makeup, and Trinity makes a comment that my boyfriend's a badder bitch than me. Let's not say that again. Let's not. And then the final task was for the boys to jump in the pool, which it didn't take much convincing at all, and they were able to get the boys to jump in the pool. Mission completed. They tell the boys immediately that this was a task. So I'm just like, I just don't really understand what the point of this was, but I guess they just had to kill time. Then we get a clip of Bryce saying that he looks old as hell with his hair wet. I mean, I guess. I don't know. Maybe he's balding. I don't know. I didn't look that carefully. We get a conversation between Kenzie, Zach, and Carl, and they talk to her about Dylan, and they let her know that Dylan has her walls up. And she says that she's kind of taken taken aback from the situation. She didn't know that Dylan felt that way at all. And they think that they should have a conversation, which they absolutely should have a conversation. But also at the same time, Dylan, you're about to conversation me to death, because we'll get to that. But there's one thing that really irks me about the Dylan situation, but we'll get to that. We get a conversation between TT and Kata, and TT pretty much says, sorry that I didn't vote for you. You know, these were my people. And Kata says, like, you know, she completely understands, like, you know, she came in with Permita, no hard feelings there. TT also says that she was very shocked that she didn't get home, or that her and KC didn't get sent home. And Kata says that she was also shocked as well. That like Casa and what Casey did to Anaya didn't influence America's vote. Little does she know that it's crazy out here. Kata again is saying that she doesn't care because they're compatible, whatever. It's just like, Kata, please shut up. Just please. Kinsey tells the girls that everything might not be good with Dylan and they're acting all surprised. I don't know why anybody is acting surprised. Maybe it's because they have had so many combos, so they're trying to figure out, like, why is there still an issue after 20 combos? Because that's my question as well. Zach talks to Sin about being with Kata outside the villa. He doesn't want to be boyfriend and girlfriend, but he does want to be exclusively dating. Okay, Zach. And Sincere says the same thing. Kinsey and Dylan talk again. He tells her that he woke up and he feels unsure of the patterns. He says that from Sean to him, there's been the same patterns displayed throughout the villa, and that, you know, that she's being pretty much he thinks that she's being defensive right away. And honestly, maybe she is being defensive, but it's probably because you guys have had this conversation 25 freaking times. So maybe she is being defensive, but I would imagine that that's why. You guys keep having the same conversation over and over again. It doesn't even make any sense. So after that, we get a conversation between Dylan and Zach, and he's pretty much telling Zach the conversation between Kinsey. This was a part that was crazy because Kinsey does kind of like try to gaslight him and tell him that she's never wanted to take anybody to home to meet her family, and she wants that with Dylan. And Dylan doesn't say anything at the time, but he immediately clocks that she said the same thing to Caleb. And okay, so this is my point about Dylan that I was going to say earlier. I don't feel any sympathy for Dylan, and I feel like all of this is performative, because everything that you're upset about, you saw all of these things before you went after Kinsey. You knew whenever you came in Casa Amor, you knew every single thing that Kinsey had done, and you still pursued her. So me personally, I am not understanding why now things that before you even got there, just because you saw them on movie night, you saw them in your hotel room. So it's not making sense to me. It's just really not making sense to me, but whatever. There's people out there that I guess like Dylan, but we get another fake cry. I'm so tired of the fake cry. Whatever. We get a conversation between Kinsey, Kata, and Trin. And she said that pretty much she's telling them the conversation that she had with Dylan. And the girls are kind of on the same page than I am. Like, why are we still talking about this? You're dragging it out. And that pretty much, like, he needs to move on. Like, he just needs to move on. Then we get a conversation between Sin and Mel. And she says that she's more open with him than she has been with any other guy. But she is nervous on how it's going to look on the outside. Sincere gives her another one of his grandiose speeches about how she's going to be his wife, the mother of his children, all of these things. And he's so full of it, but she likes it. She wants to eat it up. Her fans, apparently, they like it. They want to eat it up. And this is, I like Melanie. So when I say like her fans, they like Nina, I like Melanie. I'm team Melanie. I'm not team Melanie and Sincere. That's just not going to happen for me. Zach and Kata have a talk. They decide to be exclusively dating outside the villa. Again, could care less about them. Kenzie and Dylan. Again, he brings up to her that she said the thing to Caleb that she said to him, because before he was saying it to Zach, like, you know, she lied about this and I didn't say anything to her. So now Zach has hyped him up to go back and talk to Kenzie yet again. And he is bringing up the fact that, you know, she lied. And I think that Kenzie is finally getting to the point where it's just like, hey, when is this ever going to be enough? Like, either you want to be with me or you don't. And I feel like I still stand firm on the fact that had he not guilted her, and had the villa not guilted her and everybody else guilted her and told her that exploring was bad, I don't think that she would have picked Dylan. If they would have had more time with the bombshells, maybe she would have picked somebody else. Maybe she could have picked Gaul from the beginning. Maybe she would have picked one of the other guys that's there. I don't know. But I just think that her and Dylan was never going to work out. I'm tired of hearing about it. I really think that they're dragging the exploring thing out. But that's pretty much how that episode ends. It wasn't a lot to it. It was just a lot of filler. And unfortunately, with how this season panned out and everybody's so locked in, I don't see there being any shakeups through the rest of the season. So we're probably going to get a lot of filler, but don't worry, I am here to recap for you. So do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, follow, do all of the things. And I'm going to have this out tonight. Mark my words. Please let me have this out tonight. Either way, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. And happy final Love Island week. Bye.